Carey, Tom Ramsey from Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. The crowd is roaring. And with that in mind, let's join our third member of our broadcast team, David Aldridge, who's down on the field this afternoon. David?
Well, Chip, if it's the fall in the Pacific Northwest, that means weather can be an issue. So it is today. Both teams very concerned. The forecast for on and off showers, but it's the wind that has both teams concerned, 10 to 20 miles per hour. The field should not be in bad shape in terms of rain because this field turf was put in 2002. It drains very well, and as you can see, a severe crown near midfield also helps in draining. Now, Mike Bellotti told us that weather has not really been a problem here at Oregon since he's been here over the last 18 years. Only 7 times has it rained during a football game while he's been here. So for that reason, the Ducks aren't really changing much of anything. They're going to keep their regular football shoes on because the turf takes away the mud and the fertilizer that usually gets in people's cleats, guys. There's no reason to change the shoes or any of the equipment.
All right, David, thank you very much. Good news for the fans, good news for you as we get set to kick it off. Oregon wins the toss. They'll defer to the second half. So the Huskies will get the ball to start the ball game, and Marlon Wood is the lone man back for the Washington Huskies. Autzen Stadium ready to erupt, a key Pac-10 matchup, and we're underway. Woods got it at the 5. Out across the 20, big hole. And Washington will start with outstanding field position at the 38-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting quarterback for these Washington Huskies, Tommy Carl-Bunnell, his 3rd start since Isaiah Stanback got hurt. A season-ending injury, by the way, for Stanback.
Tough anytime you lose your starting quarterback, Chip. Bunnell's done a nice job stepping in, and he provides a lot of firepower for that Husky offense.
Single back set for Washington from their own 38. And it goes on the ground. Lewis Rankin stuffed, short gain, maybe a yard. And Washington's going to try to run the football today. If Oregon has a weakness, it is their rush defense. Let's take a look at our Red Lobster starting lineups with that run game in mind. The offensive line for the Huskies has to play big today. Juan Garcia, the man anchoring at the center position. Sonny Shackelford, big target at wideout for the Huskies with Rankin and Mark Paleta, the tailbacks for Tyrone Willingham. Yard gain, 2nd and 9 from the 39. First pass try for Bunnell. And he has a man across the 45 out to the 47. There's Sonny Shackelford, the favorite target. And a nice gain for the Huskies. Leaves them a little shy of a first down. Call it 3rd and 2. As we look at Oregon's defense. Darius Sanders, the sack specialist. He's got 6 of them from defensive end. A small but active linebacker crew. Blair Phillips had a big play against Oklahoma. Blocked what would have been a game-winning field goal for the Sooners. Young cornerbacks, but very talented. 2 freshmen for Oregon. 3rd and 1 as Bunnell changes it up. Pass dropped at the 50. And Shackelford would have had the first down. Hit him right in the breadbasket. And it's 3 and out for the Huskies.
Nice throw that time by Bunnell. A check at the line of scrimmage, like you said, and it's just a hitch. Shackelford having a good year, too. Came in today with 38 catches, over 500 yards, and unable to come down with a key 3rd down possession.
So Washington will kick it away for the first time. And Patrick Chung, the man back for Oregon. He's a new punt returner. That's been a real problem for the Ducks. And he's interfered with at the 15-yard line. Ball's loose. Oregon's got it. And across the 20 out to the 23-yard line. But Chung, welcome to the world of kick returning.
Yeah, one of the loneliest jobs on a football field. Returning punts when guys, 11 guys, 10 guys are coming down full speed at you. I believe the call will be interference.
And that is the call. So Oregon will have solid field position on their first offensive possession today.
Here's the look. Chung moving in to catch the ball, interfered as he tried to catch it.
Cody Ellis all over him. So a big penalty sets things up for the Ducks at their own 33-yard line. There's the quarterback, the man that runs the show, junior Dennis Dixon. When he's been good, he's been very good. When he's thrown interceptions, the Ducks have lost. That'll be a key for him. 7 interceptions on the season for Dixon. 1st and 10 at their own 33. And here they come. Little razzle-dazzle. And around. Out across the 40 and to the 45-yard line. 12-yard gain as Brian Paysinger makes the play.
Brian Paysinger lined up in the slot, and they just run really speed reverse that time. Dixon flips Paysinger the ball. A nice way to start. Get yourself a nice 11-yard gain for the Ducks.
And the point David made at the start of our telecast is so important. If the weather had been wet, plays like that are very risky plays for this Oregon offense. The ball's in motion an awful lot. Dixon the give. And out across midfield for Oregon. Nice gain for maybe 5 yards. And it's Mr. Stewart, Jonathan Stewart, who's been busy but also banged up all year. Here's a look at the starting lineups. The Ducks have their starting 5 up front back together again. They've given up just 5 sacks all year. A very talented offensive line. Jonathan Stewart and Jeremiah Johnson, a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield with Williams the big target at wide receiver. He's 6'5", and he is the favorite target of Dennis Dixon. Play action. Dixon rolls. Has a man, throws short. And that'll be incomplete. 2nd and 10. Jordan Kemp, the intended target. Roy Lewis, the corner, with outstanding coverage. And a look at the Washington defense. They are going to be tested today, and that's been a real problem. They're 9th ranked in the Pac-10 defensively. Ala Afoa, Refit, and Big Daniel up front for the Huskies. Scott White, a big hitter at linebacker. Deshaun Goldson, C.J. Wallace, and Roy Lewis, big parts of a very thin Washington Husky defensive backfield. 3rd and 6 as Dixon loads up. Nice catch out across the 45-yard line, very close to and perhaps a first down. Dante Rosario, the tight end, makes a terrific diving catch.
Well, Oregon said they wanted to incorporate Dante Rosario in the offense a little bit more. That time, the first 3rd down conversion going to him. The Huskies only rushed 3 people. No pressure on Dixon, so he had ample time, and they just run a little option route with Rosario, a former fullback, working on a linebacker. Good for a first down.
And they've got it at the Washington 43 now. Nice drive for the Ducks. Stewart, the single back to the right of Dixon. 3-step drop, has his man. Again, Rosario. Nice gain after the catch. Pick up of 12. Boy, these guys really do spread you out and then carve you up.
Well, and Chip, you mentioned a moment ago, the offensive line getting back together. Cherokee back in the lineup. The offensive line has only given up 5 sacks. Look at the time Dennis Dixon gets right there again underneath the number 44, Dante Rosario. One of the best athletes on the team is Rosario.
So another first down. Ball at the 32 of Washington. Again, Dixon to pass. Double pumps. Oh, what a catch. Did he hang on? Yes, he did, inside the 30. The catch, the hit, the bobble, and the grab. Rosario again. That's 3 straight grabs in that one. A highlight reel catch as C.J. Wallace laid him out.
Boy, that is a spectacular catch. Again, Dixon, a ton of time. A one-handed grab by Rosario. What great concentration coming down with the ball.
4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. 3 wide receivers right. Stewart off right tackle. He has a nice gain, very close to the marker, just outside the 20. Call it the 22. Taj Pomar makes the hit. And what's got to happen for the respective ball clubs, Tommy, to come out victorious today are Orbit's keys to the game.
Well, really, first off, consistency among playmakers. In their 2 losses, they turned the ball over 4 different times. Play the home field. Keep the advantage. Keep the crowd in it. And, of course, play as you've been playing. Light up that scoreboard. They're averaging over 36 points a game. Number 1 in the Pac-10 conference.
3rd and a very short one. Dixon again. Pump fake. Scrambles left. Inside the 20, spins to the 18. Another Oregon first down. Scott White came up from his outside linebacker stop and hog-tied him.
When you talk about consistency, Dennis Dixon here, he knows when to pull it down and run. Right there, the defense takes it away, but he knows third and short, he's able to come back. He knows where he has an outlet receiver. He also knows where he has a receiver crossing the field and leaves a big void in that Husky defense.
And Oregon getting exactly what they hoped to get on their first drive. Lots of completions, lots of yardage. Now Quick's shot to the right side. That ball dropped. Low throw. Jordan Kent couldn't gather it. First bad pass from Dixon, and he knows it. 2nd and 10 at the 19.
You know, simple hitch, right, Chip? But you throw it to a guy who runs a 10-400 meters. So it's actually, it turns in to a pretty good scheme, if you will. If he catches it, it's all about run after catch in this offense. They don't throw it too far down the field. They throw it short, but they let those big, fast receivers run with it.
10th play of the drive, 9:40 to play, opening quarter. Stewart again to give, right up the gut, and he's pounded as he moves outside the 10-yard line. C.J. Wallace, the safety, popped him, but another nice gain for Stewart. And Wallace lost the headgear on that hit.
C.J. Wallace has been playing awfully good too, Chip. Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator, saying C.J. Wallace from his safety position, one of the top tacklers in the Pac-10. You see, he just gives it up right there. Losing his helmet.
Well, that was his 80th tackle of the year, and it brings up a 3rd and 4 now for Oregon. Dixon brings Kent in motion near side. Looking toward the corner, fires, incomplete, and it'll be 4th down. He again tried to hit Paysinger, and Chris Hemphill had the coverage in the corner, and so Washington bends but doesn't break with regards to the touchdown, and now the Ducks will try to score the first 3 points of the game.
And that was really a pattern read that time by Chris Hemphill. He was over the top of the receiver that time, again trying to get the ball to Brian Paysinger. Ball just out of the reach of Paysinger.
Paul Martinez in for a 30-yard attempt. He's 11 out of 14 in field goals this year for Oregon. Good snap, good hold, and the kick no good. How about that? So Washington goes 3 and out. Oregon has a long drive but can't cash in. No score, 8:41 to go. First quarter at a stunned Autzen Stadium. Paul Martinez misses a 30-yard field goal. Washington holds Tom, and after 3 and out offensively, they now have some keys to think about themselves for Ty Willingham.
And Ty Willingham told us before the game, stick to the plan. Play 4 quarters, not only during the game, but during the season. They have a chance to go to a bowl. They have to control the line of scrimmage and run the football effectively. And the last is field position. Again, keeping the ball away from that Duck offense.
Bunnell rolls right. Needs a receiver and can't connect. Lots of pressure from that Oregon defensive line, and the running ability of Bunnell is something the Oregon coaching staff spoke to us very, very clearly about. That's a big concern for them in this game.
Well, Bunnell's such a good athlete, Chip. They get him out on the edge there. They run waggle, and really that's kind of a naked bootleg because he didn't block the defensive end. But now you see if he's a little more under control when he throws, he's got an open receiver. So they need to get good production on first down. I really think in order to control the ball and the clock, you got to make positive yards on first down.
Cody Ellis couldn't handle that first attempt. Now they give it inside. Flag flies as Rankin crosses the 25-yard line.
Flag doesn't come out in a good spot. It'll be a hold against the Huskies.
Blair Phillips with the stop, but you're right, holding on Washington. That'll back him up 10 yards.
Holding on the offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Clay Walker, the senior out of Scottsdale, the guilty party.
You see Rankin, he makes a guy miss. Actually, 2 guys missed, and then Clay Walker had a pretty good takedown. Those are the mistakes you can't afford to have. Tyrone Willingham, such a great proponent of good game management. Both he and Coach Bellotti really students of the game and do a great job with their staff and coaching a great game of football.
2nd and 20 at the 10. And Bunnell, quarterback draw. Very short gain, maybe 2. Matt Toina, the man that made the first hit, and A.J. Tuatelli polished him up.
And the Oregon defense has done it by way of piecemeal, I would say. They've had so many injuries. I believe Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator, told us 12 of the 20-some starters they've had this year have been hurt at different times. And so they've really had a tough time keeping a consistent group on the field, but they've gotten good play from that defensive line.
3rd and 17. Now the crowd back into it. Again, Bunnell to throw. Fires near side, incomplete. Rankin out of the backfield, couldn't hang on, and the Huskies will have to punt. So 2 straight 3rd down drops. Even if he caught that, they probably wouldn't have gotten the first down, but the field position game, something you mentioned, a big advantage for Washington. They need a big punt here.
Well, right now, simple mistakes really putting the hurt on the Huskies. I think in the field position battle, though, when you have a great punter, and Sean Douglas is awfully good. He's number 2 in the Pac-10, Chip, averaging over 44 yards a kick. Here's a weapon kicking to a young returner in Patrick Chung.
So Douglas out of his own end zone. Nice kick. Chung backs up at his own 40. Right up the gut. Chung breaks left. 1 man to beat. Touchdown, Oregon. Welcome to the world of kick returning.
Patrick Chung hit the seam, and he was off to the races. Now, the reason the ball got to him so quick, it was a line drive kick. Oregon with a interesting formation in terms of lining up before the PAT.
Well, Jeremiah Johnson had been the punt returner for the Ducks, but he had some fumble problems. They've given Chung a chance, and what a way to break in. Martinez with the extra point. Chung interfered with on his first punt return attempt. Then the second time he touches the ball, he rattles off a 59-yard return for touchdown, and the Ducks enjoy a touchdown lead at home against their arch rivals from Washington.
PJ's a single girl in the city, and all of her friends are guys.
You got the girl booty call.
Booty calls are not worth it. It's the one thing you learn as you get older.
That's the one thing?
My Boys, an original comedy series, premieres November 28th on TBS.
Ducks by a touchdown, and David Aldridge, apparently that kick coverage, something Oregon thought they could exploit today, huh?
Yeah, they thought there were some areas with Washington which has great speed, but sometimes there was a little laxity in terms of staying in their lanes. They were just worried about whether Jordan Chung would hold on to the ball, or Patrick Chung would hold on to the ball. He did.
Kick handled by one of the upbacks across the 25 now. And again, Washington has good field possession out across the 32-yard line. A squibbing kick, and Washington down a touchdown, takes over here with 6:57 to play first quarter, and we join Mark Fine for the first time tonight. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Chip, thanks. 19 Clemson and Maryland with a chance. Game-winning field goal, 3 seconds to go. There it is. Daniel Ennis puts it through Maryland over Clemson. And Penn State and Wisconsin play of this game an out pattern where the tight end Andrew Quarles goes into Joe Paterno. We'll update you on his condition, but he had to leave the field with a knee injury. Guys?
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And Bunnell hits his man wide open. For the first down, Anthony Russo out of Lakewood, Washington, the junior, with a 19-yard average, a big gain of 12 for the Huskies.
Russo, second leading receiver on the team, 26 catches, almost 500 yards. Again, working underneath against Jarris Byrd, the redshirt freshman.
First down for Washington now at their own 44. Nice catch on a laser beam from Bunnell.
Again, they're trying to get the ball underneath, and they're working against the left corner. Jarris Byrd, redshirt freshman, the son of Gil Byrd, who played a long time in the NFL. Great cornerback. And Byrd will be a heck of a player. Right now, he's playing with some bad ribs, Chip, and really kind of forced into duty. They're awfully thin at corner.
And two young cornerbacks, freshmen, and Washington a bigger play offense than Oregon, something they might try for today. Bunnell's throw low. Pass intended again for Russo. And he had single coverage. Walter Thurmond out there, but the pass incomplete. It brings up another big 3rd and 8. Washington's missed 2 of those opportunities already in the game. Down a touchdown. You don't want to fall too far behind the Ducks on their home field.
No, not against the defensive coordinator, Nick Aliotti. 3rd and long. This is where he might bring blitz. Oregon, they get the crowd in and put a little extra pressure on the Washington Husky offense. They're struggling to get out of the huddle on time.
Third and 8. There's the pressure. Bunnell reads it. And Rankin is racked up. Blair Phillips all over that play. And a loss of 4.
They bring blitz, and then it's just man on man. Phillips has the fullback in coverage, and boy, he runs right through the host of blockers. You see what a great tackler Blair Phillips is. A JC transfer, 6'2", 250-pound linebacker, number 2 in the conference in total tackles.
Let's see if they kick it away from Chung now. High, towering kick handle at the 12, and Chung is down there in a flag. Beautiful punt, 45 yards, and Oregon pinned back inside their 15, maybe a little further as we await the flag. It's holding against Oregon, so they'll be backed up a little farther. And that, again, something Mike Bellotti talked about with us in our meetings with him yesterday. The field position game against Washington is going to be very important, especially the punting game, which we've seen.
During the return,
Oregon's punting.
Illegal block in the back on the return team, number 19. Penalties enforced half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. First down.
Oregon's punting has been a problem for them so far in 2006. Timeout on the field. You see the time left. Oregon takes over with the ball at the 6-yard line when we come back. Hudson Stadium in Eugene. Oregon all they were quacked up to be, especially Patrick Chung with that terrific kick return right up the middle for 59 yards. The only score so far, and Oregon takes over 1st and 10 from their own 6. With 5 minutes to play in our opening quarter. Big game for both of these teams. If Oregon wins, they're bowl eligible. Washington needs at least 2 wins to be bowl eligible. And they give to the right side, Jeremiah Johnson, his first action of the game. We mentioned earlier that Stewart and Jeremiah Johnson split time in that backfield. 2 very gifted runners, but 2 very different styles, Tom.
Well, and as Mike Bellotti said, they really complement one another. Jeremiah Johnson has an ability to see the field, see the cutback lanes, and really knife through the holes. And it's great when you have 2 backs versus having to rely on one guy. And Washington's had their share of injuries, and really Rankin is their only healthy back now.
Johnson tries the left side now, tries to get to the corner, can't get there. Excellent pursuit by the Washington cornermen, and a loss of a yard on that play. C.J. Wallace, the safety, the first hit. Our 1st and 10 line is always brought to you by our friends at Napa. It's 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 for the Ducks, pinned back deep in their own territory. Do you run? Do you pass? And if you're Washington, what do you try to defend against here?
I think you have to throw it. You know, third and a whole bunch, 3rd and 9. You got to get the ball up the field. And again, it goes back to that field position game. They're able to spread up to the wide side. 3 wideouts to one side.
Dixon from his end zone fires across the middle. Ball dropped. Jason Williams, the big target at 6'5", got hammered. And while Williams has been a big play receiver for them from time to time, drops have been a problem. Chris Hemphill, the free safety, nailed Jason Williams.
So the Huskies run a twist, and Gunheim able to come through. The ball hung just a little bit. It was high for even the 6'5" Williams, and he just gets tagged trying to bring the ball down.
So the first punt of the day for Oregon. Again, it's been a real problem for them all year. The net under 30 yards for the Oregon punt team this year. And this one is Shank. Very short punt, but it takes an Oregon bounce to the 49-yard line. And that almost hit a Washington Husky on the way by. A 42-yard punt for Oregon. Again, for Washington, a 4-1 start, but the last 4 weeks have been agony for Tyrone Willingham. Look at the close calls, Tom, they've had to endure their last 3 ball games.
Well, remember against USC, they played them awfully tough, but remember, new clock rules this year, and the clock beats them. Actually, SC beat them, but in terms of managing the clock, you got to be so careful because you're going to lose out on plays. Then against Cal, they end up getting a touchdown. We'll come back to that in a moment.
Lewis Rankin, a short gain off the left side for Washington.
October 21st, they were at Cal, and they ended up losing on an interception. Then Arizona State was able to win in OT a week ago, and boy, I tell you, you just lose those OT games, and it just is so tough. But Tyrone Willingham right there, I would say, I don't know, 50-50 career in the Pac-10. Stanford, then a couple years at Notre Dame, came back for UW. And here's what Tyrone Willingham's able to do, is give them a lot of promise. When he gets his players in place, he's got a few recruits that are just now starting to see the field. They will be awfully good, and they'll play for 60 minutes every game.
J.D. Nelson, the senior free safety, had to walk off the field after that hit on Lewis Rankin. Brings up 2nd and 8 for Washington. Bunnell under center now. The give again. Rankin. Stutter steps to the 45, maybe the 44. It'll bring up 3rd and 5, maybe 6. A.J. Tuatelli, the weak side linebacker, made the hit. Well, Willingham was very open about it. He said, look, we've lost the ball games, but all you can do is stay the course. We've got 4 quarters of football to play this year. When you break down the game schedule, we're entering the 4th quarter, and this will tell the tale whether or not Washington can make it to a bowl. They are 0 for 3 on 3rd down, 3rd and 5 now. Bunnell, pass tipped and incomplete. Again, Oregon defensively able to hold. It's 4th down, but the Huskies a chance to pin Oregon back deep.
Again, Oregon able to scheme them on defense, and they do a nice job that time. A good 3rd down stop. Darius Sanders coming off the edge that time, tipping the ball on Bunnell. Patrick Chung again getting another opportunity.
And Douglas another punt. He stands at his own 40. Chung at the 10. And another booming kick. But too deep. So Oregon takes over 1st and 10 at their own 20. And a 7-0 lead here in our first quarter. We invite you to log on to Rivals.com and ask Charles Davis a question. Find Ask Charles only on Rivals.com, your online home for college football. This is another great rivalry. 99th meeting between Washington and Oregon.
You can send that email at any time, too. Charles never sleeps.
That's, and we'll be busy in just a few hours.
That's right.
Game 2 of our doubleheader to follow with limited commercial interruptions. 1st and 10 for the Ducks at the 20. Dixon fakes the reverse, throws on the run right side. And Jordan Kent, who's been busy in the first half, a nice catch. Nice gain, 9-yarder.
Good, nice job. Fake run. They're able to hold the coverage. Everyone's got to look inside and see what's happening. The run is always a threat, and almost all their passing comes off some sort of play action. So you freeze defensive backs, even if it's for a split second, you can freeze them and hopefully get by them.
Kent, a 3-sport star for this Oregon University athletic department. Big give up the middle. Nice game, 6-7 yards and a first down for Oregon. Again, they lead the Pac-10 in rushing. Unbelievably, Tom, the last time they did it 52 years ago.
Man. Yeah, season's not over. They have some tough games after this one. Jordan Kent right there, you mentioned, lettered in 3 sports, football, basketball, and track. How difficult is that? My goodness. Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson.
Yep.
And then you got to go back in the archives a bit, Chip.
Well, Jackie Robinson was a 4-sport sports star.
right.
And Jim Brown. Big give up the middle. Stewart all the way across the 50 and into Washington territory. So, as we asked in our open, does the pass set up the run or does the run set up the pass? 2 straight runs for big gains.
Well, the run, they're able just to knife in there, and that's what Jonathan Stewart gives you. What a great burst. And Masoon, the big right guard, number 77, is able to push people out of the way. He goes about 330 pounds, and boy, he just cleared a huge hole that time for Stewart.
Mesvin Forrester stopped him, but not before a 17-yard gain. Stewart again, stutter steps, this time gang tackled for no gain.
Remember, Jonathan Stewart, one of the most highly coveted players to come out of the state of Washington. A big recruiting coup for Oregon a few years ago. And look at the rush yards so far. Oregon doing a nice job, 56 so far. And if you're Washington, that number's got to come up. You're relying on your run game to keep the ball out of Oregon's hands today. And so far, they just haven't been effective on the ground.
2nd and 10, Dixon. All day to throw, and it's picked. Intercepted by the Huskies. Throw it right into the breadbasket of C.J. Wallace. And the first turnover of the day, which is something we talked about with Dixon. He has been turnover prone, and Washington stops the Ducks again.
Here's Dixon, a junior who hasn't played a ton, against C.J. Wallace, the senior defensive back who has played an awful lot of Pac-10 games. Watch him, he ends up pattern read, just drills the receiver. Boy, that's a heck of a play. He's over there talking to J.D. Williams, his defensive back coach. J.D. Williams, of course, great NFL corner himself.
Here's a package that Oregon was concerned about. 5 wide receivers set. Bunnell looking deep, has a man, and a hit and a catch at the 31-yard line. Terrific throw, terrific catch.
Well,
Cody Ellis.
5 wideouts, and watch Ellis. He's in the slot. He's coming down, makes a little double move there. Chip ball's on time. Ball's actually a little late down the middle of the field, but J.D. Nelson made the tackle. Good to see J.D. Nelson back in the game.
22-yard pickup. Single back set now for Washington. Give to Rankin right side, gets the corner, gets to the 25, gets to the 21, and maybe a first down. J.D. Nelson, the man Tom was mentioning, made the hit. And more on the very speedy Mr. Ellis with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Washington told us before the game, Cody Ellis is the fastest wide receiver they have on the team. Legit 4.4 guy. Won the state 200-meter run in high school in Puyallup, Washington. He said when he was a kid, people challenged him to races, and he always beat them. That's how he knew how fast he was.
Well, he's got a first down for the Huskies at the 20. 9 seconds to play in the quarter. Rankin drags a defender with him down to the 15. And that'll be the final play of the opening quarter. But Washington with a pick and a drive now. Deep inside Oregon territory with the ball. Looking toward a 2nd and 6. And down a touchdown as we head to our... Welcome back to TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Orbitz as we get set to start our second quarter. It's 7-0 Oregon in front. Washington driving, however. 2nd and 6 at the Oregon 16. Bunnell, all kinds of time, fires left side and complete, but shy of the first down marker. Cody Ellis, who's been busy on this drive for the Huskies, hauls it in. It'll be 3rd and 1. Again, Washington has yet to convert on 3rd down in today's game.
And there's Cody Ellis being so fast he wasn't able to throttle down when he got close to the sideline, and his speed just carried him out of bounds.
You talked with the Washington coaches before the game about a lineup adjustment in short yardage situations. Might see Johnny Curtin a time or two before the day is done. 3rd and 1, backs in an eye.
Yeah, Johnny Curtin, the 280-pound tailback. How's that?
And the push gets the football to the 10-yard line. We'll see about the spot. Oregon stacked. Marked Paleka up. We'll see if he gets a friendly placement here. He did not. 4th down.
Boy, they didn't give him a good spot.
And Washington's going to go for it. 4th and less than a yard.
Well, Paleka, the fullback, and Johnny Curtin, the tailback. Johnny Curtin, a fullback tight end type guy lining up at tailback.
Well, Bunnell keeps it himself, and he will get the first down, one would think. He was 3rd and inches, and he does have the first down. So the Huskies have it inside the 10, 1st and goal.
Well, and that's a bold call. You know, you really have an opportunity for points. The game is awfully close, but Tyrone Willingham, when you lose 4 straight, you're not content with 3 points. They were going into that 7-14 on 4th down. So they're not afraid to try on 4th down.
Well, they haven't had any luck on 3rd. You might as well try it if you're
no kidding.
4th and short. 1st and goal from the 9 now. Rankin the single setback. Bunnell gives to him. Stutter step inside the 10, down to the 7.
Well, part of the problem, Chip, is the stutter step. You can't stutter step when you're inside the 10-yard line. You gotta honk it up in there. Even if you're the Huskies, you gotta honk it up in there.
Nick Reed the stop.
There's a window to hit the hole right there, and big number 74, Stan Daniels, comes around and pulls, but Rankin should be right off his hip up into the secondary.
2nd and goal from the 9. Yeah, Rankin at times between the tackles. A little slow to get to the hole. Once he gets outside, he's awfully fast, though. They fake the give to him. Bunnell rolls left, throws toward the end zone, and incomplete. Michael Gottlieb, the tight end, was there, but it was just out of reach, and it'll bring up another 3rd down for the Huskies.
Well, they had a chance that time. Bringing Waggle backside. Gottlieb's a backside tight end. Great pressure that time by the Oregon defense, and they hurried Bunnell into a quick throw. Otherwise, he would have had his man. 3rd down and goal for the Huskies. Shackelford is lined up in the middle of those 3 receivers down at the bottom of the screen.
Bunnell looking toward the corner of the end zone, and Shackelford, he's got it for the touchdown. What a throw and what a catch. Their first 3rd down conversion leads to a touchdown on a beautifully thrown ball, and we've got a 1-point game.
What a nice throw that time. You know, I figured they'd have to come back to their veteran receiver here shortly. Sonny Shackelford lines up in the slot. He's going to run the corner, and it's a great throw by Bunnell. He's able to get good protection. He gets the ball out right on time, and he hits that back corner of the end zone for the score for the Huskies.
7th touchdown for Shackelford this year. Brownstein in for the extra point. He hasn't missed yet this year. That trend continues, and it's a tie game, 7-7, a 53-yard drive after the critical interception. And we got a ball game. 13 minutes left, tied at 7. Sonny Shackelford's 7th touchdown of the year ties the game at 7. And our telecast, a copyrighted presentation of the University of Oregon, a member of the Pac-10 Conference. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of our game may not be disseminated without expressed written consent of the University of Oregon or the Pac-10 Conference. So a big mistake. The interception leads to a 53-yard Washington drive and the tying score. And now the Ducks will get it back. Nice deep kickoff. And Stewart's going to bring it out deep in the end zone. Not a wise decision. He's stacked up at the 12, and now flags fly at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, not a wise decision that time. Although last year, Chip, he was #1 in the nation in kickoff returns, like 33 yards a return. So he's thinking, yeah, I could do this.
So Jay Strikers and the rest of his crew will sort out the flag. And it's holding against Oregon. So again, they'll be backed up for the second time on a kick return in the first half of this ball game. And this has been at times a mistake-prone Oregon club. And Mike Bellotti not at all pleased with the flag, the call, or the field position, which again, to reiterate, is something both these coaches were very concerned about.
During the return, holding on number 48. Penalties enforced half the distance to the goal. First down.
But Tommy, how about the way the drive ends for Washington? Great touch, great route.
Well, it goes to show you when you convert on 4th down and then you have a nice route. They have a little over-under work in that time. Bunnell able to find Shackelford on the over little corner route. But that's a heck of a timing route and a heck of a throw and catch.
So Oregon pinned back in each of their last 3 possessions at the 6, the 20, the 6-yard line. Dixon back to throw. Again, flirts with a pick. C.J. Wallace was right there. A ball underthrown by Dixon. 2nd down, and again we join our pal Mark Fine in our Atlanta studios. Mark.
All right, Chip, Mississippi State and Alabama. John Parker Wilson picked off by Quentin Culberson. He's going to take it all the way. 3rd win this season for Mississippi State. First SEC road win in 6 years. The celebration ensues for Sylvester Croom, guys.
All right, Mark, an upset bid perhaps here in Eugene by the Huskies. Dixon the keep on the option. And across the 10, James Finley, the ball carrier. And it'll bring up 3rd and call it a long 1.
Get that spread offense, a little fake inside to Jonathan Stewart. Then they're able to pitch on the perimeter. They go an option, essentially the outside linebacker who ended up come crashing down. And Finley, he's really a receiver. He's able to get in the pitch position and make a nice play.
And he hobbles to the Oregon sideline as bright sunshine starts to appear at Autzen Stadium. You haven't seen the sun here in a couple of days. Dixon the give, right side, big hole. And a 1st down. Stewart with a big pickup, nice gain, 5, maybe 6. And Oregon some breathing room.
I know there's one guy happy down on the sideline. How about that, David Aldridge? Really have it. You come up to the Pacific Northwest. It's awfully green. You mentioned, Chip.
Yes.
Coming out of the sun-based state of Florida. You really haven't seen leaves turning, have you?
No, I didn't know what those things were on those trees out there. 1st and 10 for the Ducks. Again, Dixon the give, right side. And again, Stewart continues to carry the load. Nice gain of 5. 2nd and 5 from the 28 now.
Well, Jonathan Stewart, I mentioned him earlier, as one of the most coveted players to ever come out of the state of Washington. He tested at the Nike training camps with a spark rating, and a spark rating is speed, power, agility, reaction, and quickness. He tested a 98 out of 100, which is an insane number, but it tells you how fast he is, how powerful a runner he is.
There he goes again, out across the 30-yard line. And another Oregon first down, and this again, the age-old question for the Ducks. Is Stewart with 58 rushing yards. Their passing attack is so potent, but they lead the Pac-10 in rushing. They haven't done that in half a century, and they've got a shot to do it here in 06.
You know, they have great role players, and a guy like Dennis Dixon, he's another guy. He ended up going through the Elite 11 camps that Student Sports puts on throughout the country. And so Bellotti knows, hey, look, I got a guy who can throw it as good as any quarterback in the country, but guess what? He runs a 4.5 40.
And there he goes. Dixon stacked up, shy of the first down.
So again, we go back to that spread offense, Chip. A huge gain on first down right there. You're able to get a guy like Dennis Dixon out on the edge, and it just creates such a hard time for that Washington defense. They put the defensive end in a pickle. Right here, the defensive end has two guys blocking him. He's got to fight through it. Then all of a sudden, you got Dennis Dixon in space, and he can make plays.
9-yard game, and not surprising, his last two passes, one picked, the other one underthrown and nearly picked off. Now all of a sudden Oregon's running the football right down Washington's throat, and they've got a nice drive going here at the 10-minute mark of the second quarter. Now Dixon thinks about Williams, but he's covered up, and he'll make a couple of moves across midfield and tripped up at the 43. Taj Bomar saved an even bigger gain, but you're right. Dixon with those happy feet and the big strides picked up a bundle again, a 14-yard gain.
And you know what I liked most yesterday about talking to the Oregon players? We talked to Jason Williams, we talked to Dennis Dixon. They're very unselfish. It's whatever it takes to win. Right there, Dennis Dixon, he looks downfield, then he's able to make a nice move, get up the field, and get his team some positive yards. And he's trying to get it down the field right there. Does a great job pulling it down and gets that extra yard.
He has 27 yards rushing, does Dixon. Now Stewart. The misdirection play and the flip right side. Great pickup inside the 25. Brian Paysinger again.
So let me tell you a secret. Wide receivers think they're running backs. They don't want to go running back, but they like when they're in a position to catch a pitch out on the edge. Paysinger using his speed and his size right there. He's 6'2", 208-pounder. He had a 100-yard receiving game a few weeks ago against UCLA, and again, it's using Jonathan Stewart as a decoy. They fake inside. You got to respect the inside rush at number 28.
That was a 21-yard pickup. Again they fake. Again they flip it outside. And again it's Paysinger. He's close to a first down for the Ducks. A couple of yards shy, actually. He's at the 14. An 8-yard gain, and you see Ty Willingham try to cheer on that very thin Washington defense. They've been on the field a long time in this first half. And our 1st and 10 line brought to you by Napa. It's second and a short 2. Dixon underneath. And Stewart and one of the linemen got tangled up. And the pass out of reach. It's 3rd and 2. Had a little screen left side, but the pass too high.
Well, in Oregon, that first screen they've run today, they're a great screen team. Always have been. The Oregon Ducks, Mike Bellotti, in all his years up here, he was the offensive coordinator prior to taking over as a head football coach. The screen has always been an element of the run game for them, and they've done a nice job. Gary Croton comes in, the offensive coordinator. He's used the screen in the passing game.
Ducks have had good luck on 3rd down today and all year. They give right side, and Stewart nearly broke it. He's at the 11, and that's good enough for 1st and 10 for the Ducks.
We mentioned Gary Croton. There he is right there in the green jacket. And what a great coach he is. He's been around the NFL. He's been around the college game. He's been a head coach. And he's willing to learn new offenses because he didn't know all the aspects of the spread offense, but he learned it. And man, the machine is humming today.
Dixon running option left at the 10, fakes the flip and is stacked up at the 5-yard line. Chris Hemphill made the stop But again, it's not just Stewart now getting in on the rushing game. Dixon and Paysinger adding up to those lofty total yardage totals.
Here's what I like about Bellotti and Croton, though. Mike Bellotti, you got to respect it. A couple years ago, he says, hey, look, yeah, we have a great offense. I've sent Tedford. He's coaching down at Cal. Dirk Cutter, he's at ASU. I want a new offense. Too many people know this offense now. And he goes out and says, let's run the spread and utilize the athletes we have.
13th play of this drive. Oregon trying to wear down the Huskies here. Stewart right side and in for the go-ahead touchdown. A 5-yard carry. And they just ran the football at will on 94-yard drive by the Ducks.
There's the power, the agility, the reaction, the quickness. Jonathan Stewart right there knifing up underneath the block and able to get into the end zone for the Oregon Ducks. And man, he is a low to the ground guy. 5'11", 230-pounder, a sophomore.
His 6th touchdown of the year. And Paul Martinez in for the extra point. And his 2nd of the day is good. What a drive for Washington. What a drive for Oregon. A 94-yard terrific run by Stewart. It's 14-7. 14-7 our score now with 7:20 to play, second quarter here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. A great drive by the Ducks. 13 plays, 94 yards, and this is a critical juncture for the Huskies. They need a lot more than 3 and out. Give that defense a little time to rest. Marlon Wood, the kick return, out across the 20, spins as he's hit and knocked down at the 23. Make it 24-yard line, and a late flag comes flying in. But first things first, we send it down to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, in that last drive, if you looked at Jonathan Stewart, you could see why he was one of the highest recruited guys, maybe the biggest recruit as a running back. Low to the ground, very powerful, great cutbacks, strong, finishes the run well. I'd be curious, Tom, does he remind you a little bit of Emmitt Smith? I mean, look at the quickness, the ability, and then they finished in the end zone. Very powerful guy. Reminds me a little bit of the Dallas Cowboys. Great running back.
You know, he really does. That's a great comparison because he is low to the ground, and great runners have great sense of balance and a great base, and he never really gets knocked off balance. And he was highly recruited. He's one of the best there was to come out of the state of Washington, and it kind of fuels the rivalry between those Huskies and Ducks even a little more.
A personal foul penalty backs Washington up to the 11-yard line, and now flags fly again as the Ducks come across the line of scrimmage.
Well, and I'm a big proponent of, you know, identifying
Dead
talent.
Ball start on the offense, number 75.
Chad Macklin,
Still first down.
the false start, and he got hammered. So 2 straight penalties has cost Ty Willingham's Huskies 15 yards of field position, down a touchdown.
Yeah, this is tough, and you're in the loud. There is no quiet part of Autzen Stadium. It's all loud. Well, you know, one of the things we were talking about earlier, Chip, was just, you know, where does Oregon go to get their players? Where does Washington go? They get a lot of players out of Southern California. And, you know, USC has done a great job recruiting the last couple of years. UCLA will get their share of players, but Oregon seemingly has a lot of California guys on their roster.
1st and 15 at the Washington 7. Carl Bunnell the give, Rankin across the 7 to the 8, maybe the 9. Short gain. Again, the Huskies are trying to establish the running game, but they haven't gotten much on the ground in this ball game. College football on TBS continues after our game. It's the Big 12 game night cap as Oklahoma State takes on number 4 Texas with limited commercial interruptions. Enhanced coverage of TBS Saturday Night College Football is presented by Phillips. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 14 at the 8 now.
That'll be a good game, and Texas has a wonderful quarterback in Colt McCoy. Man.
Bunnell flushed and throws it away. All kinds of pressure from those defensive ends. Darius Sanders, the big man at 6'5", 270, and another one of those L.A. area players Tom was speaking of.
And that's a great job by Sanders, but I think an even better job. Watch Sanders here. He's going to press, but then they're going to have more pressure come out. Bunnell is able to get rid of the ball, and I think that's the important thing. You see Sanders fight through the block, and I think the most important thing, Bunnell didn't throw a bad ball there.
Right.
He gave him a little more of a chance, and again, 3rd and 13 facing the Huskies right now.
Washington just 1 out of 6 on 3rd down. Bunnell looking deep, and he overshoots his man. He was looking for Anthony Rosso, had a step on his man, but it's 4th and forever for the Huskies, and they'll have to punt it out of their end zone.
Again, Sean Douglas, strong punter for the Huskies. He's kicked an 82-yarder this year.
Well, they'd like to have one of those right about now if they could get it. Patrick Chung already with a return for a touchdown. Stands at his own 44. Fly. Nice punt. Chung back to his 37, fumbles the ball. It's loose, and who's got it? The Huskies have it. But a flag on the play down to the 5-yard line. Oregon can't handle the punt, but let's see if Washington's guilty of a procedure penalty. Wow.
It was an illegal motion.
33 and 29. 5-yard response.
Jay Stryker's what he's saying. It was an illegal motion call. 2 players were moving at the same time. Patrick Chung just has it hit off the 1 and the 5. Not a pretty picture there.
And the fumbles continue to be a problem on punt returns for the Oregon club, and a huge penalty. A 60-yard field yardage loss, and more importantly, possession of the football for the Huskies on an illegal shift that backs them up 5 more now. It'll be 4th and 13. 4th and 18 from the 4 now.
You know, Tyrone Willingham is just saying, now what? See, watch the 2 men at the bottom of the screen, and you know what? I just thought the guy was in motion. I didn't think the other one moved. Oh, you know what happened? The up back was moving at the same time. That's what they ended up calling.
High snap. And another nice kick, but Chung a return chance now. Inside Washington territory, right back up the middle before he's hammered down at the 40. So an illegal shift costs Washington a turnover, 60 yards of field possession, and now Oregon with a touchdown lead has it 1st and 10 right at the Huskies' 40-yard line in Eugene. Well, Tommy, let's take a look at our KFC Bowl Poll question. Which team will win the Pac-10 Conference title, USC, Cal, or Oregon? Fans, text your vote of A, B, or C to 88222 now.
What do you like? I know who I like.
It's hard not to like Cal. They haven't lost in the conference.
It's hard not to like Cal. Yeah. I like what Jeff Tedford has done. Marshawn Lynch is back in the groove running, and he's an awfully good runner. And Nate Longshore is a pretty darn good quarterback.
Stewart gets outside. He's to the 30-yard line and inside that. So Oregon with great field position. Remember, their previous 3 drives, 2 of them started at the 6-yard line, 1 from the 20. They pick up 13 yards on a Stewart run off left tackle.
But here Stewart he does a great job dipping inside a little bit, exchanges the ball to the outside arm, and then really uses his speed again. And again, it's that first down gain. 12 rushes, 78 yards so far for Stewart.
Washington watches Dixon fire at the right side. Ball on the floor, and it's picked up by the Huskies, and a flag flies. Boy, oh boy, Oregon turns it over again. Cameron Colvin picked up the loose ball at the 23-yard line, and you might have an illegal block on the Ducks. Grayson Gunheim with the first hit forced the fumble, and the penalty is indeed against Oregon, and the turnover gives the ball back to the Huskies.
First down, Washington.
So that's 2 turnovers for the Ducks.
And they're very conscious of those turnovers. Not a good play that time. Oh, they called Paysinger. They called Paysinger on the clip, and then the ball just comes squirting out. Cameron Colvin unable to hold on to it.
Well, 3 separate times this year, Oregon's had 4 turnovers in a game. They're halfway there with 5 minutes to play in this first half. Bunnell, play action. He's hammered at the 11-yard line. Oh, man. He had no chance. Sanders, one of 2 Ducks. They just buried him for a big loss.
Well, watch Darius Sanders. He's going to go upfield, then he's going to knife underneath the left tackle. It's just a great move this time. He ends up swimming the tackle, and Bunnell has no room. Not even a chance to look down the field. That's a great job that time. Sanders comes in 5 sacks, 5th in the Pac-10.
Nick Reed cleaned it up as well. Washington loses 10 on the play, 1st and 20. Well, they've had 1st and 2nd 20 a lot in this game. Ball underthrown, nearly picked. Pass intended right side for Cody Ellis, and now it's 3rd and forever.
Well, that time, Carl Bunnell, who was the Washington High School Player of the Year in 2001, really anxious feet that time. I don't think he was comfortable with the call at the beginning. Tim Lopano, the offensive coordinator, sitting high up in the booth. One of the things they want to do, they want to try to get the ball down the field. They got pretty good matchups with their wide receivers. Again, I go back to that veteran wide receiving core against some young corners. But you got to be able to protect.
Well, they've got 8 plays this year of 40 or more yards through the air. They could use one now at 3rd and 20 from the 12. Bunnell scrambles right, buys some time, throws it away wisely. Excellent coverage by the Ducks. Excellent pressure by the Duck defensive line. And again, the Huskies cannot take advantage of an Oregon turnover.
No, not a real effective series that time by the Huskies. And the little mistakes right now are beginning to hurt them. They're starting to add up because Oregon continues to get better field position out of every small mistake.
Now the chance for Chung. Beautiful high spiral. Handled at the 39. Chung running left. Breaks a tackle and is buried at the 49-yard line. 49-yard punt, 10-yard return, 39-yard net gain defensively for the Huskies. I'm ready for more Hoops on Thursday. How about you?
All the time. All the time.
Bulls with that star-studded lineup, and Ben Wallace taking on LeBron James and the Cavaliers, a team that a lot of folks think has a chance to play for the title this year in the NBA. A lot of fun on TNT Thursday night.
I mean, when the Bulls held Miami to 66 in the first game, I thought it was a misprint. Like, did they mean 99?
Well, I think the shooting hands of the Heat were weighed down by the championship rings they got. That's the only explanation.
I figured something like that. Yes.
4-yard loss
Or maybe,
Jeremiah Johnson.
Or maybe that celebration went a little too long from,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. No.
Nice play defensively by the Huskies. They got to make a stand here now as we move toward 3 minutes. Grayson Gunheim with a big stop. 2nd and 14 from the Oregon 44. Dixon, play action. Across the middle. Has his man Williams. He reached up with a big paw and hauled that in at 6'5". Oh, what a wingspan he's got. And a big gainer of 16 yards. Dan Howell made the stop.
It's about time you find the #1 receiver in the Pac-10 Conference. Jason Williams, 821 yards coming into the game. And he is a big target. Man, first down catch of the game for the Ducks.
Ball at the 38 for Oregon. Dixon fires it right side. Jordan Kent quickly wrangled out of bounds. And Roy Lewis, the cornerback, with the stop. But again, we check in with Mark Fine. Mark?
All right, Chip, here's what we've got coming up for you on the Singular Wireless Halftime Report. A day of upsets and almost upsets. Michigan getting a test from Ball State. Florida trying to survive a game with Vandy. Also, Joe Paterno just flat out upset. He took a hit on the sidelines. We'll update you on his status. It's all coming up on the Singular Wireless Halftime Report, guys.
Okay, Mark, thank you very much. Look forward to that. 2nd and 8. Dixon to give inside Stewart for Jeremiah Johnson. I beg your pardon. Big hole and a big gain. First down. A 10-yard pickup. Boy, they are some kind of offense.
Wow, this'll wake you up, right?
They average 192 per game. They have 170 this half. And again, it's been over 50 years since an Oregon team has led this conference in rushing. It's easy to see why. They have so many running weapons. Play action toward the end zone and incomplete, nearly picked off. Oh, baby, that ball hung up there for an eternity. And Roy Lewis nearly came away with another turnover.
Roy Lewis breaks on the ball, and Dennis Dixon is kicking himself because the ball did hang up there a little bit. He had an open guy. Paysinger is a receiver down the middle, number 19. See how the ball drifts just a little bit? And Roy Lewis is able to make a break and come back and make a great play. That's a stellar defensive play. Almost hangs on for the interception.
2nd and 10 now. Give inside for a short gain. That's Jeremiah Johnson, who reeled off 10 a moment ago. He's stacked up for no gain. It's 3rd and 10 with 1:49 left in the half. Jordan Reffett and Grayson Gunheim combined for the tackle. Jeremiah Johnson, a talented part of that tandem in the backfield for the Ducks. They really thought they had a recruiting crew when they brought this kid in as well.
Yeah, Dorsey High School, Los Angeles, and he can hit a hole awfully well. Again, very complimentary of Jonathan Stewart. 5 wide receivers this time.
3rd and 10, and Kent couldn't hang on. Ball thrown behind him by Dixon. And let's see what the Ducks try here on 4th down from the 26.
Not sure what they're trying. Other than a field goal, why not?
Martinez has already missed from 30. This one a 43-yard try. 1:13 left until halftime. Good snap. Good kick. 43-yard field goal. And the Ducks extend their lead to 10 now. It's 17-7.
Good drive for the Ducks. I'd say coming away with points. It wasn't a real good drive in terms of timing and continuity. They got stuck with no gain on a couple plays there. Missed on the third down throw, but Martinez has been awfully accurate this year. Even though he did miss a field goal attempt earlier today, he's been awfully good so far this year.
So again, another important opportunity for Washington, albeit with only 1:09 to play in the half. Oregon's going to get the football to start the second half as well. Remember, they deferred, but the Huskies have had one great drive. Lots of third down opportunities that haven't been converted. The key play for them in this first half, the illegal shift on a punt after, or right before I should say, Chung fumbled a punt that would have given them 60 yards of field position and the ball, and obviously would have kept it away from Oregon. Let's see what they can do here in the final minute.
And I think one of the telltale signs in the first half, Chip, was just those rushing numbers we saw a moment ago on the graphic. Oregon already over 175 yards rushing, Washington under 20 yards. And you just have to be effective running the ball to take some pressure off your quarterback.
So the kick angling toward the corner. Marlon Wood touched that ball, I think. He's in the end. No, he didn't touch it. Took a funny hop for a moment. He'll down it. And the Huskies have it 1st and 10 with a minute to play in our second quarter. Here's how we've reached our 17-7 score. Chung, his first punt return for a touchdown. Right up the middle, 59 yards and a 7-0 Oregon lead in the first quarter. Huskies came back with that very nice drive. Beautiful touch. Sonny Shackelford in traffic and in the corner with a grab of 53-yard drive. Then Stewart, a 5-yard run for the Ducks, put them up a touchdown, and then the Martinez field goal, 17-7.
Ranking up the middle there and trying to get a 2-minute offense going with just under 35 seconds.
Bunnell steps up in the pocket, scrambles right, high leg action as he crosses the 30. That'll be good enough for the first down. And here's where the new rules in college football take over. Clock doesn't stay stopped until the snap. When they say it's ready to play, the clock moves. And now a whistle. No play. Whistle blew before the snap. And it looks like Washington called a timeout from their sideline. That indeed is the call. So with 25 seconds to play in the half, Oregon 17, Washington with the ball and 7 when we return. Tommy, even the fans of this Oregon program are working on their running game.
Chip, I thought the one tall guy was you for a moment.
He's way too fast.
I know it couldn't be me because I don't run.
Smart man. Bunnell's missed on his last 4 pass attempts with 26 seconds left. He'll fire down the middle. Ball incomplete. Right in the hands of Cody Ellis, the speedster. He could not hang on. That would have been a huge gain for the Huskies.
Yeah, I'd say so. What a great throw this time. Bunnell fires it down the middle. Look at this. It hits Cody Ellis between the 2 and the 9. Man. Oh, they had a big shot there. Bunnell's done a great job when he's had time and been able to set his feet. He can really deliver the ball down the field.
Well, again, his 3rd start since Isaiah Stanback has been hurt, and he's looked very, very comfortable. 5 wide receivers now. Bunnell right up the middle now with 18 seconds left. It'll bring up 3rd and long, and that might be the final play of the half. Let's see. Nope. Washington again will take time.
That's a nice play that time. Matt Toyena from his nose position, really 2-gap and doing a nice job looking for that QB draw.
Well, the Huskies have had a very proud quarterback tradition, Tom, and I know a lot of folks remember the heroics of Warren Moon. One of the all-time greats, 17 seasons in the NFL. Pac-10 Co-Player of the Year back in 1977. Chris Chandler. Over 4,000 passing yards. Mark Brunell, who's now playing with the Redskins. MVP of the Rose Bowl in '91. And Billy Joe Hobert. never lost a game he played.
Man, Warren Moon really put Washington on the map. I know that coming out of high school, I was a big UW fan and ended up getting recruited by the Huskies along with the Bruins and the Fighting Irish. But Warren Moon put Husky football on the map. Of course, Don James did as well.
And Isaiah Stanback, when he was in before that ligament problem with his feet, is having a terrific year. Huskies are only 1 for 8 on 3rd down, and this one well off target. And now 9 seconds left until the half. Washington again will have to punt it away, and the risk of this play, quite obviously, is Chung's already returned one for a touchdown. A little surprised they didn't just let the clock run out after 3rd down.
It is surprising. Yeah. Although after that one incompletion down the middle of the field to Cody Ellis, you're probably saying, you know, we could have had a big chunk.
Sure.
Why not keep firing a few more plays? Ducks going after the block.
Nobody back. Pressure coming. Flag flies. Punt right down the center of the field. That's beauty. And toward the corner, but into the end zone for a touchback. 2 flags are on the play. As Sean Douglas down on 2 knees at the 24-yard line. He got hammered. Roughing the kicker, the call against Oregon. There was also a call against Washington, so we'll do it again. A 66-yard punt, by the way.
Yeah, Douglas took a pretty good shot that time.
2 fouls on the play. Illegal shift on the offense. Personal foul, roughing the kicker on the defense, number 48. Those 2 penalties offset. We will replay them down. Time down. The fact we had a penalty on last play in the first half.
So if we can interpret that correctly, offsetting, they'll run the play over.
Correct. And for the 2nd time in this half, Washington with an illegal shift on a punt formation.
You see what's happening? They're moving the up back. You can't have 2 men in motion at the same time. The up back is making a call into the line. As he's walking back, they're sending one of their gunners in motion. That's twice now.
And so the Huskies take a knee as Douglas was not back to kick. They'll take a knee, and that's the end of our first half. With the Ducks up 17-7, Oregon with the lead, but a couple of turnovers, one of them very costly, and a couple of key penalties really hurt the Huskies late in our 2nd quarter. Big rushing numbers in the first half for Oregon. Washington's defense on the field an awful lot in the first 2 quarters. We'll see if they can figure out this great spread offense of the Oregon Ducks here in our 2nd half. Let's check in again with David Aldridge, who's down on the field with Oregon coach Mike Bellotti.
Okay, Coach, a few turnovers there in the first half, but once you started running the ball, you started moving it a little bit.
Yeah, the turnovers were the result of some miscommunication between a receiver and the quarterback, and also a receiver not taking care of the football. We need to be better at that. I thought we gave them their only opportunity to score. I was pleased that the offense came back. Defense has played a whale of a game so far.
How much help can you give your young secondary in the 2nd half?
Well, the best thing is just keep them off the field. I mean, we can just control the football like we did, run the ball, we'll be okay.
Okay, Coach, thanks very much. The score here at halftime in Oregon is Oregon 17, Washington 7. After a short break, we'll join Mark Fine in the studio for the Singular Wireless Halftime Report.
Wow,
Wow, rough crowd here in Eugene, Oregon as we welcome you back to TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Orbitz as we get set for our second half. Our score, Ducks 17, Huskies 7. Chip Carey, Tom Ramsey back with you upstairs. And Tom, the story of the first half, really the rushing game. We talked about the importance for the Huskies to establish it. They couldn't. And Oregon with that spread offense spreading the love around. A lot of guys running the ball and running it very effectively.
Well, Oregon really has spread the field well, and it's really an adjunct to that spread offense that they have. They're able to get the ball into the hands of several different players. Dennis Dixon, the quarterback's done a great job, even with the subtle fakes, but the guy carrying the heavy load today has been Jonathan Stewart. He's really done a nice job. He has 78 of their 170 yards thus far today, and credit that offensive line. They're doing a great job up front. They're consistent. They get hats on people. Jonathan Stewart over for a touchdown there, and he can get outside as well, and look for more of that in the second half today.
And Tom, for Washington, it's even tougher. They've got to kick the ball away to start the second half, already down 10 points. As you look at our halftime stats, a 170 to 32-yard rushing advantage in the ball game. Oregon leading despite 2 turnovers, and the penalty game, 4 of them for the Huskies, 1 of them a real killer on a illegal shift on a punt play. The Ducks fumbled that punt. Washington recovered it, but the play nullified by the penalty. And so now the Huskies kick it away in our second half underway with Oregon in front 17-7. And that kickoff boomed beyond the end zone, and the Ducks will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Again, we check in with the third member of our team, David Aldridge, is standing by downstairs. David?
Well, guys, Tyrone Willingham said at the half that he was happy with the turnovers. Obviously, he feels like that's a rare thing for them to create some turnovers. They obviously didn't take advantage, but he said there was just a few guys out of position on some of those run plays. As you guys have talked about the whole game, once you're in this spread offense, if you're a half gap off, it's going to lead to big plays. He wants to stop the run, and he thinks offensively they have the capability of making some plays up the field.
Well, we'll see if that's the case, David. And they've got to start defensively down 10 points. Oregon takes over 1st and 10 at their own 20. Dennis Dixon, the quarterback. Jonathan Stewart, the setback. A 3 wide receiver set for Oregon as we put it in play. 1st and 10 from Autzen Stadium in Eugene. They're coming out firing. They try to set up a screen. Good pressure up the middle. Dixon now running near sideline, will settle for a 1-yard gain. So they had the screen set up, Tommy, but Washington read it well, got good pressure up the middle, and that's what messed up the play.
Well, more importantly, positive gain on 1st down for the Ducks. Even though you got a pass called, protection breaks down, good coverage. Dixon's able to get outside and make a positive out of it.
And another rushing yard, by the way, for Oregon. Sets up 2nd and 9. It's clouding up rather ominously off to our right in Eugene as well. There is rain in the forecast later on this afternoon and evening. Option play. And across the 25 out to the 26, maybe the 27. Again, Stewart with the carry. He'll pick up 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 26, maybe 27 for Oregon.
One of the impressive things in the spread offense, Chip, so far today, when their run game is going well, they're getting great blocking on the perimeter by the tight end, Dante Rosario, by the wide receivers, Jason Williams, Brian Paysinger, James Finley, Jordan Kent. They're doing a great job. They get hats on people downfield, and they just eat up space and eat up defenders.
And not surprisingly, they're starting 5 on the offensive line together for the first time in a couple of weeks, and they've opened up big holes too. 3rd and a long 4 as Dixon rolls left this time. Sets, fires, picked at the midfield stripe. Dixon forced it, Washington picks it, long run and down to the 15-yard line. 3rd turnover of this ball game as Chris Hemphill, number 3, came up with the interception right at the midfield stripe. And the Huskies, Tom, got exactly what they needed. A stop, a pick, a 34-yard return, and they've got it 1st and 10 at the Oregon 16.
Boy, you said it, Chip. He did force it. Jason Williams, he had him out on the perimeter. Goldson had him covered up, and then he does. He forces the ball down the field. Hemphill goes about 6'4", 210 pounds, so you're not going to throw it over the top of him, that's for sure.
3 Oregon turnovers in the game. They've had 3 games with 4. They lost 2 of those games, and the other was the Oklahoma fiasco here in Eugene. Nice gain off right guard. And a pickup of 4 as you look at the turnover troubles that the Huskies have had, that Oregon has had this year. I beg your pardon?
Well, and Washington has had their share as well. Against Washington State, against Cal, and against Oklahoma. Oklahoma, they had a little help from Father Replay. And but the turnovers every time will hurt you.
2nd and 6. Bunnell finds his man at the 11, and he's dragged down very quickly. Nice play out in the corner. Sonny Shackelford, who has a touchdown catch in today's game, is dragged down by A.J. Tuitele. And it's 3rd and 5. 4th catch for Shackelford, by the way, today.
Tuitele, another product out of L.A. Banning High School. Maybe a little undersized as a linebacker, but a great competitor.
Washington 1 for 9 on 3rd down today. This a big one. Again, Bunnell to throw. Fires across the middle, wide open, and a touchdown. An 11-yard strike to Quentin Daniels, slicing across the middle. Another turnover results in another Husky touchdown, and they're on the board to open up the second half. 17-13 now.
Well, Quentin Daniels, they just run a drag route underneath, and they cleared out everyone on the left side, and Daniels does a nice job securing the football, getting over for the touchdown. Again, good protection for the Huskies, good patience by the quarterback, Carl Bunnell.
High snap, but no trouble on the point after. 3 plays, 16-yard drive after the critical interception from Oregon. 17-14, we got a game with 12 minutes to play in our 3rd. Well, from time to time this year, Tom Ramsey, the Ducks haven't been able to get out of their own way. 2 interceptions have led to 2 Washington touchdowns. A very short but effective scoring drive makes it a 3-point game in favor of Oregon now with 12 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter.
Well, they wasted no time, that's for sure. Utilizing the 5-receiver set, able to get down the field. They've really stretched out that Oregon defense, but give credit where credit is due. Chris Hemphill with a nice play and a good return on the interception.
So Jeremiah Johnson, Jonathan Stewart are back waiting the kick of Michael Bronstein with 12:09 to play in our 3rd quarter at Watson Stadium. Huskies bidding for an upset on the 22nd ranked Oregon Ducks. This one's going to split Johnson and Stewart, and the Ducks take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. Speaking of the rankings, let's take a look at our current BCS standings, Tom. They're brought to you by our friends at KFC, and those are updated up to the moment, including today's play.
Yeah, Michigan got a bit of a scare for the Ball State Cardinals today. Ohio State seems to be rolling pretty well. West Virginia, of course, lost the other evening to Louisville. Florida getting by Vanderbilt. And, keep your eyes. California could vault up. They have a couple big games remaining. They have a big game down at Southern Cal in a few weeks. That'll be interesting. Texas, of course, never quite out of it.
And they follow us as they play Oklahoma State here on TBS. Oregon takes over, and Grayson Gunheim stops Jonathan Stewart. Short gain. This is a critical series for Washington, too. We mentioned all the rushing yards that the Ducks picked up in the first half. They've got to find a way to plug those gaps and force Dixon to throw the football again in the second half.
Yeah, if you can shore up that run defense, but it's so difficult on this spread offense. They really put a lot of pressure on the defensive ends. However, you can go in and draw it up a little bit at halftime, but you got to have great passion and enthusiasm by your players up front.
Dixon on 2nd and 9, loads up and hits his man. That was a laser to Dante Rosario. He was very active on the first drive for the Ducks. Hasn't been heard from since. A big pickup. His 4th catch and 1st down for Oregon.
That's right. He caught 3 in a row early in the game, and Rosario just keeps working. And Dixon able to deliver the ball on time. And Rosario, a former fullback, 4 catches on the day, 35 yards.
11 minutes to play, third quarter. Jason Williams has been awfully quiet for the Ducks today. And a short gain out across the 35-yard line to pick up 2.5, call it 3 yards for Stewart.
You know, the Ducks have had 7 games in a row with a receiver over 100 yards, which is the first time they've ever done that. Jason Williams, of course, 5 of those 7 games he's gone over 100 yards, but real quiet today.
Dante Rosario, their leader, with just 34 yards. And a Husky down. C.J. Wallace, the man that's banged up. And he'll hobble a bit to the Washington sideline, favoring that left ankle. Again, the secondary for the Huskies, very, very thin. That is a big concern for them with these big Oregon receivers and that running game that we've seen.
And he's been helping out on the side of Jason Williams. So if you're Dennis Dixon, you may want to come back and find number 4.
Well, they don't need to. They find 28. He rattles off a big game. Out to the 49-yard line, a 13-yard scamper.
Boy, they're able to get between the tackles. Again, credit the offensive line. Masoon, the big right guard. Anoka Lucas, the center. Lucas does a great job turning backside and sealing that backside tackler away from the play.
Stewart right at 100 yards now, rushing the football on the afternoon. 5th time he's been over 100 this year. 1st and 10 at the 49, under 10 minutes, third quarter. Ducks by a slim 3, but driving. Dixon looks left. Williams, did he catch it? Still no call. Williams out of bounds.
Yeah, Williams, there's a reason. You know, he has 1 catch. He dropped 1 in the first half. This one, he flies out of bounds. Ball's a little late and just takes him outside.
And he's 6'5". That's a long way to go down to get the football. He cradled it, but couldn't hang on. 2nd and 10.
Well, they may take a replay look at this. They may give him, if we could look at it one more time, they may give him the completion. It looks like he might have caught it. There's the replay booth right there. John Pemberton in that group. He reffed my high school football games. Wow.
Has his eyesight improved? Has his eyesight improved since then?
He's listening. Of course it has. Watch right here. Jason Williams' knee is in bounds when he catches it. Watch his left knee. It'll come down inside. Right there. Possession. I think you give him the catch.
You like the replay rule?
I do like the replay rule. You know, I do like it because I think the game moves so fast. I believe, as Mike Bellotti believes and Tyrone Williams believes, the game is played at such a high rate of speed. The referees aren't going to see every play with 100% accuracy. And if replay helps out, you'll get a coach challenge and you'll get a referee play booth to take a look at it too. Now, a coach challenge, you'll be able to burn a timeout, or you can salvage a timeout if the call goes your way. And I looked at the numbers this year so far. There really hasn't been that many reversal of calls.
Which tells you that the officials on the field are A, doing an outstanding job, but B, I'm sure both coaches would also say that at the end of the day, the most important thing you want is that they get the call right in the end. And if it takes looking at an occasional replay, so be it. It's, I think, sometimes the timing it takes to get the call looked at, judged, and then announced.
Well, and there's
something that I think everybody would like to see tweaked a bit, but I don't know what.
Well, I'll tell you this. The NFL, it took them a few years to figure it out. Coming into this game, the Pac-10 games utilizing instant replay, 40 games. Number of game stoppages to review a play, that was 59, and they had 4 coaches' challenges and only 2 reversals. And the average length of a review right now, over 2 minutes.
So this is a very tough call. As you see, the knee's down, but does he have possession by the time he rolls out of bounds? I'm sure that's what's being reviewed, and I don't know if there's overwhelming visual evidence to change the call that was made by the officiating crew on the field. Is his knee in bounds?
His left knee is you know, Chip, you said it earlier. He's 6'5", and being 6'5", it appears he's out of bounds, but
The review.
his knee's in
There's
bounds.
conclusive video evidence that the pass was caught. It will be Oregon ball at the 42-yard line. The ruling on the field is reversed. Oregon ball, second down.
So it's a 9-yard gain after a long review, and Tyrone Willingham wasn't so sure, but he'll get an explanation and a wry smile too.
Yeah, well, big, tall target. Jason Williams, 6'5", 240-pound player. He did have possession right when it went into his arms. That was never the question, I don't think, is whether he had possession or not.
So the call after review goes Oregon's way. It's 2nd and 1 from the 42 of Washington. They lead to the Ducks 17-14. Very close, very tight game. Dixon inside shovel pass to Jeremiah Johnson. Good enough for the first down. Johnson into the 38-yard line of the Huskies.
Again, a tough play to defend. You know, when you pick up 9 yards on first down, the defense has to respect you taking a shot deep, number one, because that's a great time to throw it deep. Second, short. And look for Oregon. They may try to get one-on-one matchup now with Jason Williams in the corner. Goldson.
Low snap, but Dixon handles. Johnson outside. Look at that move, but couldn't shake another tackle as he's bulldogged down at the 34-yard line. Deshaun Goldson, the man that popped him, and that's the different look that Jeremiah Johnson gives this Oregon offense. Stewart very tough and strong between the tackles, but once Johnson pops outside, he's got electric feet. It's 2nd and 5 as we bring you our 1st and 10 line, brought to you by Napa. Dixon to throw, swings it left side. And Stewart picks up 3, maybe 4. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Boy, getting that offensive line, great communication among them. Gary Croton, Neil Zambucas down on the lower part of your screen. Zoomer's been around. Boy, I don't want to tell you how long he's been around. He's seen a lot of good Oregon football. I know that. Coaching tight ends now. Steve Greatwood coaching the offensive line and doing a great job.
3rd and 2. Oregon driving. Stewart left side, finds a seam, breaks a tackle, takes it to the 22. Another 9-yard game, and a flag comes in late.
Boy, the left tackle, Max Unger's been doing a great job.
Personal foul against Washington. They'll tack on 10 more.
That's a frustration penalty right there.
Personal foul on the defense. Number 47. Penalties enforced half the distance to the goal. First down.
Taj Bomar, the inside backer, getting flagged at the end of the play. What a great job. Max Unger, the left tackle, just seals everybody. You see Bomar come in, and it's where he hits Jonathan Stewart. I think if he hit him any other place other than his head, he might not have drawn the flag.
1st and 10 at the Washington 11. Dixon swings it right side. Kent inside the 5, inside the 3. Roy Lewis was dragged to the 2-yard line by Jordan Kent, the senior from here at Churchill High School in Eugene.
Jordan Kent, who hasn't played a lot of football, a long strider, 10-400 guy. You see what a great job trying to get to the pylon there. Just off a little hitch. Again, nice safe throw. Mespin Forrester comes over and delivers a big hit out of bounds.
And the Ducks set up 1st and goal at the 1. 17-14 Oregon. Johnson off left guard, untouched. Touchdown Ducks.
Again, it's those variations off that spread offense. Paysinger rotates around over the top of Dixon, and then it's just a quick handoff into Jeremiah Johnson. So hard to defense against.
9 touchdowns for Johnson this year. An 11-play drive covered 80 yards, and the Ducks regain their 10-point lead. 24-14, 8 minutes to play third quarter. Huskies will get the ball. We'll see what they can do at Autzen Stadium in Eugene after this. College football on TBS brought to you by Napa. Get the good stuff, Napa. And by Aflac. Ask about it at work. Well, Washington got the pick, got a nice touchdown to start the second half. Tom, you have to be impressed with the way Oregon responded. Took the ball 80 yards right down the middle of the field, and again they lead by 10.
Yeah, they were helped out with the instant replay call, and then of course the flagrant penalty against the Huskies. But you know what? Credit Oregon. They're doing a great job. They kind of got back on track and got over the hump of turning the ball over that first series.
Kick squibbed out to the 20-yard line, handled by the Huskies, and they'll get great field position out across the 35-yard line with 7:54 to play in our third quarter. Again, we join David Aldridge down on the field.
Well, guys, it's not unusual for sons of NFL players to play in college, but Oregon has really kind of cornered the market here. They've got 5 sons of former NFL players on their roster. You talked about Jairus Byrd, whose father Gil played for the Chargers. J.D. Nelson, the safety, played, whose father Darren Nelson played for the Vikings. We'll talk about more after this play.
Bunnell to throw. Looks left side, has Russo. Nice catch, nice run before he's collared down at the 46-yard line. David?
There's 3 other guys. Eric Elsher's father, Neil, played for the Vikings. Safety, Matthew Harper, son of Willie Harper. And Dexter Manley's son, Dexter II, is a defensive end here. J.D. Nelson says that the guys don't really compare notes. In fact, he said some of the guys don't really like to talk about it all that much. As for his father, Darren Nelson, who now works at Stanford, he told his son last week, "You couldn't tackle me in space." His son said, "I've tackled Reggie Bush and Adrian Peterson. I think I could handle you."
Oh, Darren.
Aha. Lewis Rankin stacked up for a 2-yard loss. Oregon's defensive line just strung that play out. A.J. Tuatele made the stop, and a Husky lineman's hobbling.
As good as Reggie Bush and Adrian Peterson are, J.D. Nelson would still have a tough time bringing down Darren Nelson. Having played against him, and of course I played with J.D.'s uncle Kevin at UCLA. The Nelsons can play some football now.
Clay Walker, right guard for the Huskies, the man that's banged up.
Already a thin offensive line.
And so the crowd quiet for a moment as Walker was on his feet for a moment. Now being attended to just outside the 45-yard line of Oregon. We have 7 minutes, 7 seconds to play in our third quarter. Oregon leads 24-14. We'll take a quick break, come back and update you on Clay Walker after this. Casey Balaika in for Clay Walker, who was helped off the field for the Huskies now. 2nd and 12 at the 47 of Oregon for Carl Bunnell and the Washington offense. 7 minutes to play third quarter. All kinds of time. Looking for the deep ball. He's got a man down there and knocked away at the last moment. Looking for Anthony Russo again. Willie Glasper came over.
Nice play by Glasper. Started last week versus Portland State in place of Walter Thurman, and really stride for stride this time. DePaulo also there. Ryan DePaulo, the safety, coming from over the top, and they just time it up. They time it up tremendously.
Another Washington third down. Boy, they've really struggled on third down in this game. Bunnell steps up, fires it deep, triple coverage, and incomplete. Risky pass by Carl Bunnell, and the Huskies will have to kick it away.
And Chip, they haven't been just ordinary third downs. They've been third and long,
yeah.
third and 12, third and 13. Those are the ones that are tough to make, because if you got 3rd and 3, you're in a whole different play sheet. You could dial something up that'll get you 5 yards, and you keep the chains moving. 3rd and 12, you gotta throw it down the field.
Patrick Chung, man back for the Ducks. He's taken one back for a touchdown. And he stands at his 10-yard line. This ball headed to the end zone. Let's see if the Huskies can down it. They can. And a touchback for Oregon. Again, they'll get the ball at their own 20 with 6:31 to play in our third quarter of play from Eugene, Oregon. And with that in mind, as Oregon gets set for a new offensive set, we send it to Mark Fine in Atlanta. Mark?
All right, thanks, Chip. 8 Tennessee and 13 LSU. Jamarcus Russell throwing almost 70% completions this season, but that one's not good. Picked by Demetrius Morley. Tennessee goes up 17-7. But unfazed, Russell comes right back looking for Dwayne Bowe. He finds him. Bowe finds the end zone. It's now 17-14. Tennessee back to Eugene.
Okay, Mark, thank you. A key SEC matchup in Knoxville, a 3-point affair. Here, a key Pac-10 matchup. Oregon by 10 and keeping her on the ground, and until Washington stops it, why not? Another big rush for Stewart.
Again, pad level, low to the ground. Watch him. He hits the hole, just bursts through the hole. C.J. Wallace, Chris Hemphill there to make the hit, but not after. He picks up a good chunk of yardage again. 8-yard gain on first down.
122 yards on 19 carries for Jonathan Stewart. 2nd and 2. Again, the give to the back. Stewart breaks a tackle, pops inside, pops outside before Washington greets him. But still enough to pick up the first down, a 4-yard gain. Chris Hemphill again very busy in this second half.
One of the things the spread offense doesn't allow you to do, it doesn't allow you to do a lot of stunting and moving around up front, because you got to stay true to your gap that you're protecting if you're the defense.
And let's take a look at our New York Light stat of the night. And that is the story. Washington wanted to run, hasn't. Oregon always runs and has with great effect. And New York Life's been protecting families for over 160 years, and that's a winning stat. 1st and 10 from the 32. Dixon wants to load up. Pocket collapses. Look at him pop out. He's to the 40. And a step past the first down marker. Terrific move by Dennis Dixon. An 11-yard rushing play after terrific Washington pressure.
So they went empty. They went 5 wides again. Empty backfield. Dixon's back there. 4-man rush. And look what happens. First down play, gain of 10. Dixon on the day rushing 6 for 46. That contributed to that 220 or whatever that number was.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And 11 more to it. Ducks driving again. 1st and 10 at the 43. Stewart to the outside left. 45 to midfield before he's pushed out of bounds after a 6-yard gain.
You know, the good running teams, Chip, they just keep coming at you. They don't let up, and that's what Oregon's doing now. And again, I go back to the offensive line. Unger, Chergy, Lucas, Masoon, Schwartz. These guys have played a lot of games together. There's great communication up and down the line. They know where to get the hats on people. And then the backs do a great job. Great vision and great speed. And then you got the scheme among everything else.
30 rushing yards on 4 runs on this drive. Little swing pass to the left side. Stewart the catch, breaks a tackle. He's out to the 42-yard line. 9-yard gain. And To the point about that offensive line for Oregon, the most undersized member of that offensive line is Inoka Lucas at 6'4", 299. He's the baby of the group.
Yeah, he's a biscuit away from 300. That's just, this is a little quick screen. That's just, they just call that, you called it a dump, but they truly set it up like a screen pass, so they're able to get blockers out in front too, and then it kind of becomes a run.
Another first down for Oregon. Dixon, play action, steps up, slides left. He's inside the 40 and slides down to the 34. So even when Washington, as Dixon comes up a little sore, even when Washington applies pressure now, the speed and mobility of Dixon enables him and this Duck offense to create positive yardage.
Yeah, Dennis Dixon is able, again, you see him fake to the back. He's very elusive, and then he can get up the field and hurt you. And again, a first down play, I don't know how many times I've said it, gain of 7. He's got 53 yards now, 7.6 average. When you get those positive yards on first down, you can run your home offense.
4 minutes to play. Option swung to the right. Jeremiah Johnson broke a tackle. He's down to the 21. Stop me if you've heard me say the Ducks another double-digit yardage gain on the ground. This one a 14-yard carry on the option. And as much as Washington's defense has been on the field, they might be starting to be seeing E light up on the gas tank. They are a little bit weary and very, very thin, as we said earlier.
Yeah, they're just not real deep, so they got a lot of guys that have taken a lot of snaps. And it probably hurts you the most in your down guys. Just not able to get a good push.
Another first down for Oregon. Dixon looking to the end zone. Crowd wants a flag. They won't get it. Pass intended for the tight end, Dante Rosario. The pass underthrown. And that's probably why no flag came on the play.
Well, the ball was late getting there. Rosario had him on a wheel. Again, the ball hangs up just a little bit. Rosario runs by the guy. That's face guarding, if you really want to know the truth. Should have been a flag. Forrester, the free safety, never got his head turned around to find the ball. Ball falls incomplete.
2nd and 10 from the 22. And the Ducks don't get the playoff. Play clock at 0, might have a delay here. And Dennis spiked the football in frustration.
And they had
University of Oregon, timeout number 1.
Took a timeout instead.
How about that? They had an illegal motion call too, so I'm surprised what came first, the motion or the timeout.
So 3:29 left, Ducks by 10, but driving again as we take a look today at our Hyundai drive of the game. The last drive for Oregon was very, very impressive. 11 plays, 80 yards.
Johnson left side, touchdown.
And Jeremiah Johnson went in untouched.
Well, they've put together some long drives, haven't they? They've had 12, 13, and 11 play drives, and they're working on another one.
And 22 more rushing plays than Washington in the game. So that pretty much tells the story. Oregon has been dominant on the ground.
Mike Pilates always said, championships are won in the month of November. What do you win championships with? Defense and a great run game. And timely third down throwing, I have to say.
Sure.
But they're getting good defensive play now. Their running game can take a lot of good offenses off the field.
Well, they have 259 rushing yards, and we have 18 and a half minutes of football left. Dixon fires it to the left. Inside screen. Shy of the first down.
Well, Oregon You know, when you look at their remaining schedule too, they have USC next week, and I'm sure it was tough for them not to look ahead this week. Washington's tough. They're a tough conference game always, whether you play in Seattle or whether you have them here at home. Although Bellotti did tell us, we want to take advantage of having a home game. And they have taken advantage of it. They've kept the crowd in the game. They've made it not rain.
That's been very important.
And they've taken advantage of their offensive linemen, doing a great job.
Stewart inside the 10, down to the 4.
And when I say that, they can communicate freely at the line of scrimmage, get guys in the right positions, get the right blocks where they need to be, and then they've just dominated in the run game.
Another Oregon first down, 1st and goal at the 4. Stewart now 22 rushes, 142 yards.
Now we look at next week matchup at SC becomes a very interesting game. The Civil War is always a great game against Oregon State. But the fact that Oregon State was able to put it on Southern Cal last week.
Wow. Doesn't surprise you. On the ground, Ducks go in again.
That was a grinded out touchdown drive.
Man.
That was a grinded out touch. That was a demoralizer. That's what that's called. They had the Washington defense on their heels the whole time.
Another long drive. Stewart takes it in from 4 yards, and it's 30-14.
Jonathan Stewart looking Emmitt Smith-esque there. Again, nose for the end zone. Watch him right here. Knifing cut. Shoulder pads low, and a lot of elbows flying around there.
And what's so demoralizing, I'm sure, for the Husky defense, the second straight 11-play, 80-yard drive of the half for this Oregon offense.
Oh, that just takes it out of you. A lot of snaps.
Dan Kaus is banged up as he gets a little help walking to that Oregon sideline. So 30-14 Oregon the lead, and that's really been the story in this head-to-head matchup the last couple of years. The Huskies have played hard, played with a lot of heart, but Oregon's just waxed them the last couple of years. As we said earlier tonight, it's been over 70 years since Oregon's won 3 straight games in this Pacific Northwest Pac-10 rivalry, and they are on their way with a chance for a 17-point lead and 2 minutes to play, third quarter. And the point after splits the uprights. Oregon by 17 with 2:38 to play at Autzen Stadium. Big game for the Ducks. They still have hopes for second in the Pac-10. They're looking awfully good as we speak to you from Eugene, Oregon. We send it now to our pal Mark Fine, standing by in Atlanta.
All right, thanks, Chip. Big game for Brady Quinn. Notre Dame and North Carolina. Quinn looking for Jeff Samardzija. Who else? Way downtown. 4th touchdown pass of the day. Notre Dame wins at 45-26. Back to you guys.
All right, Mark, thank you very much.
I saw Notre Dame firsthand 2 weeks ago. UCLA at Notre Dame. What a great atmosphere, number one. Number two, Notre Dame, Brady Quinn and Jeff Samardzija, they're for real. Samardzija can go up and get the ball.
I wonder what Samardzija is going to do professionally. He was drafted by the Chicago Cubs this June to play Major League Baseball.
Throws that heat. Look, 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Cubs could use a few more of those.
You throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, you can make some money.
Not bad.
If you can catch the 50-yard bomb down the middle of the field, you can make some money too.
That's true. That's true. So I think his career options are looking pretty good right now, and so are the Irish. And so are the Ducks. Here it's 31-14. Huskies need a drive, need a touchdown to give themselves a shot in the fourth quarter today. Marlon Wood, number 83, the deep back for the Huskies.
I think you mentioned, though, Chip, but you know, the long drives, 12-13, and then 2 11-play drives, they just beat you up. And the Huskies, you can tell that they're just winded. And Oregon just keeps coming at them.
Again, a very short kick. Bobbled for a moment, but out across the 25-yard line. So 2:28 to play. Ducks take over. The Huskies take over 1st and 10 as we take a look at our Aflac trivia question today. Aflac. Thank you very much. The question is, what Husky quarterback gained 200+ yards rushing and over 300 yards passing in a single game? I know my friend Dave Fubar in Bellevue, Washington knows the answer to that question, but
Can we answer that now?
well, we'll wait.
I'll wait.
I'll wait. Yeah. 2:15 to go. Bunnell tucks it and pays a hefty price. Maybe a yard, maybe 2. And right now with the lead, you know the Ducks are going to be flying to the football as Bunnell a little bit shaky on that left arm. Look at him squeeze the bees out. And he's been banged up all year too. Remember, sprained the AC joint in his left arm in that game against Cal. Also a concussion last time out against Arizona State. So plenty of pounding applied to the Washington quarterbacks this year. 2nd and 8. Quick pass off to the right. And a pickup of 3 perhaps. Sonny Shackelford, a short game.
At least they have a shorter 3rd down to convert this time. Looks like it's about 3rd and 5. But remember what Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator, told us yesterday, Chip. He said, you know, when our offense is rolling, we play better on defense.
Sure.
And you know, there's so much to be said when your offense is rolling, the crowd's into it. Now the defensive guys want to go make plays. And they can come hard off the edge, knowing that Carl Pinnell has to throw it to get 1st downs.
3rd and 4. Picked. Off the deflection. It's intercepted. Michael Gottlieb couldn't handle it. And the Ducks get a turnover. The first of the day by the Huskies. And speaking of demoralizing, that might be right up there as well. Patrick Chung's had a great day. A kick return for a touchdown, now a pick.
Tip balls are always dangerous right there. Tip balls up in the air. Patrick Chung is having himself a remarkable afternoon. Returning a punt for a score to put the Ducks on the board first, then coming down with the interception there. Chung, of course, honorable mention all Pac-10 last year as a freshman, only a sophomore.
And his 3rd interception of the season. Now Oregon with a new look at quarterback. Brady Leaf. And he'll give to Stewart left side. Stewart inside the 40, down to the 35. And slowly, play by play, moment by moment, that ground game just grinding away the Huskies in the 2nd half. As you see, Brady Leaf, the junior from Great Falls, Montana, and C.M. Russell High School. 3rd quarter in the books. It's been all Oregon on the ground all day long. They lead at 31-14, and they're driving again here at home. It's 31-14, Oregon in front. It's 2nd and 2 from the Washington 34 with Brady Leaf running the offense for the Ducks. Leaf slings it right side. Jordan Kent gets the corner, and he's dragged out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. We've talked about the 5 kids on this Oregon team with NFL connections. Brady Leaf has some NFL connections as well, and for more on that, we join David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Brady Leaf is the younger brother of Ryan Leaf, who starred obviously at Washington State and didn't do so well in the NFL, as we all know. Brady Leaf says that he learned a lot from his older brother about what not to do, but he said it was a positive experience from a bad situation. We got more after the next play.
1st and 10 at the 27. Pass slung out to the left side. Little dancing and inside the 20. Jason Williams finally having his number called a few more times in this third and fourth quarter. That'll move the chains again. Another Oregon first down. 11-yard pickup from Leaf.
Well, as we were talking about Brady Leaf, he said he learned a lot from Ryan Leaf, but he was so young when Ryan was here at Washington State, was playing at Washington State, that he actually learned more from his cousin Matt, who was also a star at Washington State University. Learned about the college game, learned how much work you have to do. He always wanted to play for a Pac-10 school. He was looking at Washington. He was looking at Washington State, but once Mike Price decided to go to Alabama, Oregon looked awfully nice to him, guys.
All right, David, thank you very much. Leaf is going to be taken down at the 26. One of the rare times in this half that the Huskies defensively have been able to apply any kind of pressure, as Grayson Gunheim, one of a handful of Huskies to meet Brady Leaf.
Well, here's the remarkable season statistic. That's only the 6th sack that the Oregon Ducks have given up all year. All year.
8th tackle for Gunheim, his 4th sack. Pat Solalo also joined in for a big loss on the play of 7 yards, 2nd and 17. And you're right, this Oregon offensive line has been banged up. They've been beat up. They've been shuffled in and out because of those injuries. But in today's ball game, they've been terrific again. One reason why those running lanes have been so wide open all day long. Huskies have allowed a ton of rushing yards today, 273 in fact.
Well, in the spread offense too, it's the threat of the run and the option on the corner that I think slows down those defensive linemen, and they don't come as hard. I don't want to say the effort isn't there, but they have to have a run key check off first.
Leaf steps into the pocket, fires to the corner. Kent couldn't hold it in. Just off his fingertips in the corner. And that would have been a spectacular catch had Kent been able to turn into Superman on the play.
That's a great ball by Brady Leaf too. He gets the ball up, timing's good, and he puts it right where it needs to be. That's great coverage over the top too. Kent could have had it, but he gets rocked by 28 Roy Lewis. Lewis timed him up pretty well.
So 4th and 12. Martinez will come on for a field goal attempt of 35 yards. He's 1 for 2 in field goals today, and that one perfect. 35-yard field goal. It's Oregon by 20.
This November, a TBS original comedy so edgy, so outrageous, it has to be on late night.
Attention employees, health insurance will be canceled.
10 items or less. A late night original comedy coming November 27th, only on TBS.
With David Aldridge, Tom Ramsey, and our statistician and spotter, the master of mathematics, Marty Aronoff. Chip Carey with you from Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. Ducks by 20 now, 34-14. No chance for a Husky return. They'll take over at their own 20. And again, we join Mark Fine in our Atlanta studios. Mark?
Okay, Chip, the back and forth continues with LSU and Tennessee. Keelan Williams for the Tigers takes it in for the score. LSU now up 21-17. Back to Eugene, Oregon.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. LSU bidding for an upset in Knoxville tonight. And they've got the lead. Huskies in trouble. They need a quick strike or two. 12.5 to play in the game. Down 20. Bunnell fires left.
Again, that defense, LSU, boy, they're awfully good. Number 1 in a lot of categories in the NCAA.
Sonny Shackelford, the man with the catch. Nice gain for the Huskies. Let's answer our Aflac trivia question. Which Husky quarterback had a 200-yard rushing and 300-yard passing game in a Washington Husky uniform?
How about Marcus Tuiasosomo? That's my guess. I go with Tui.
And he's in it against Ty Willingham in the Stanford Ball Club. Bunnell fires quickly and incomplete. Cody Ellis, the intended receiver. Ellis was busy early in the game. Haven't heard much from him, and it sets up 3rd and a long 3 for Washington. 3rd down conversions have been a huge part of this ball game. Oregon's picked him up at will on the ground. Huskies are 2 out of 12 overall.
Wow, well that'll go to show you right there. 2 out of 12. You got to be hitting along at about 45–50% if you want to have an impact on the road.
Bunnell 12 out of 28, just 94 yards passing. And that one knocked down at the line of scrimmage. So Oregon stuffs them again. And with the lead, as you mentioned, Tom, this Duck defense is going to be flying toward the football the rest of the way.
Big number 99, Jeremy Gibbs, getting his hand up that time, swatting the ball down. And yeah, I mean, it's been tough. They have taken the Huskies out of their offense, primarily on 3rd down. The Ducks have just done a remarkable job 3rd down defensively.
They kick it away from Chung. He scrambles over near sideline, handles at the 30, and he'll be dragged down very quickly by the Washington Huskies defense. Oregon takes over in command, a 20-point lead in a big Pac-10 matchup. Oregon football, 1st and 10 at their own 33. Brady Leaf at the controls. The Ducks with 405 yards of total offense in this game, and Jeremiah Johnson, a rare stack-up job by the Husky front 4. Maybe a yard for Jeremiah Johnson. Is Leaf, Tommy, in your estimation, as adept as Dennis Dixon at running this spread offense?
Yeah, I think so. I think he has his own style. And again, Gary Croton, he echoed the same. Every quarterback's a little different. He'll have different throws he likes. Dennis Dixon has great wheels. Brady Leaf doesn't run a 4.5 40, so he has to rely on his arm a little more.
Steps up in the pocket, and he's going to be dragged down. 2-yard loss.
Again, the remarkable statistic in this offense, Oregon came into the game averaging 456 yards per game. Good for 5th in the country, only behind Hawaii, who's averaging over, the only team averaging over 500 yards a game. They're averaging 529. June Jones always has that offense cranking up. Louisville, New Mexico State, West Virginia, Oregon, 3 out of the top 5 run the spread offense. How about that?
So is this offense going to become the new fad in college football the next 10, 15, 20 years?
Well, I think for the next 10 or 15 days at least.
Yes.
I don't know about years.
3rd and 11 for Leaf. He'll step up. He'll fire left side complete. Tough catch in traffic. Ryan Matisse, number 86, back up wide out. Made the grab.
Conventional wisdom would tell you, you know what, right now it's good because there aren't a lot of teams running it, but there's enough good teams running it where it makes an impact. And more teams in high schools will run it. But you know what I've noticed? It's a system, and it takes a lot of practice and a lot of repetition. It's a hard one to implement and to maintain.
And for those fans who don't understand what the spread offense does, explain that first of all, and secondly, explain how it evolved and why it evolved in college football in your estimation.
Well, the how and why, I mean, it's always been around. There's always been versions of spread offense. I mean, I would even say the old, single wing going back 50, 60 years is a version of a spread offense. Although I'll have cards and letters on that one, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, you best utilize your personnel that you have. Oregon comes up a millimeter short for a 4th down. They'll have to punt it away. But I think just the evolution of offense, in particular, the guy who had a lot of success with it, Urban Meyer at Utah, and they ended up having great success. Now you got to remember, Alex Smith was his quarterback, first-round draft pick. You know, so when you got guys that can run and throw, sure, it makes sense.
Oregon on 4th down, 7 out of 13 this year. But Washington's going to take timeout with 9:33 left in this ball game. 34-14. One more note on that spread offense. It came about also because of the great speed from sideline to sideline of defensive players nowadays, not just hash mark to hash mark when Ty Willingham was playing, which is something he told us in our meetings with him a couple of days ago here in Eugene. Big lead for the Ducks, a decision for Mike Bellotti, and time to check in again with Mark Fine.
All right, Chip, you know, Ohio State got themselves a game with Illinois today, 17-10, under 2 minutes to go. The onside kick for Illinois, but Brian Robisky recovers for Ohio State, and they hold on and win it. Close one, 17-10 for the #1 team in the country.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. Is it Ohio State, Michigan next week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. Never soon enough, though.
Yes, for those two programs, no, that'll be.
I think Michigan has a chance. You know, Michigan's defense, the way they've been playing, they have a good chance. And especially, again, I go back, Ohio State has a close game. Michigan had a close game today with Ball State, but I think Michigan might be guilty of looking ahead a little bit.
So Oregon, after the timeout by Washington, has a change of heart. At least it would appear they're going to think about a punt. Punting game has been a big problem for them most of this season.
Probably a good game management decision there.
And now a flag on the play. I don't think Oregon got the playoff in time, and that's the case.
Well, if they get a delay after
Delay
the
of game
timeout.
on the offense, number 98. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Shouldn't happen.
Aaron Knowles, the punter. He's going to drift back 5 more yards. He averages about 41 yards a kick. He and Matt Dragic have been alternating punting duties for the Ducks this year, but as we said, their net punt average has been worst in the Pac-10. That's something that the Ducks really want to see improvement in here in the month of November. Marlon Wood back. Nice kick. High spiral at the 20-yard line. Woods got it. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another. And then gets smothered at the 28-yard line. Nice coverage that time by Oregon, and a nice net on the play. 43-yard punts. 9-yard return, 34-yard net, a little better than Oregon's average this year.
And one of those reasons that average goes either up or down, when they played Cal, the great returner Deshaun Jackson from Cal ended up, he had a couple big returns against Oregon, one for a touchdown, and that will bring that average down in a hurry. So they haven't been as good as they've been in the past on kick coverage units, but you can fix those things.
Huskies take over. They're going to have to throw some more. Nice run after the catch, and that's close to a 1st down for Washington.
Well, in the second half, the Huskies just haven't been able to get untracked. And you see, as evidenced by their drives here in the second half, they had a short 3-play drive that resulted in a touchdown after an interception. And then they went 4 and out, 3 and out, and 3 and out. And on the flip side, Oregon has put together 12, 13, 11, and 11 play drives for scores. That'll take a lot out of the defense.
And frankly, Washington's touchdowns have come after Oregon turnovers. That ball tipped. Intended for Cody Ellis. And it's 2nd and 10 for the Huskies. It's been that kind of day for Carl Bunnell and the Washington offense.
Well, again, credit, this Oregon defense, even when they don't get a great rush, they get their hands up and they knock down the ball. So they make it all the more difficult on the Huskies.
Yeah, Washington was hoping to keep the Oregon offense off the field. It hasn't. 28 first downs for the Ducks, just 8 for Washington today. And a 2nd and long again. Bunnell underneath has a man. And out to the 46, 47-yard line goes Quentin Daniels. Third string wide receiver out of Loyola High School in Los Angeles. That's just his 7th catch of the year.
I've always been impressed, and this Oregon team is probably better than some I've seen of recent. I think Oregon's team speed is really far up there within the conference. Cal is very fast this year. USC is very fast. Oregon is right there with them.
3rd and 1 power set, and Washington's going to pick up the first down.
Oregon just has fast guys all over the field. They have them at corner. They have them at safety. They have them at defensive line. They have them on the offensive side of the ball for sure.
Johnny Curtin, who's normally a tight end, got the football on 3rd and 1, which is something Washington wanted to feature today in goal line situations. Again, they're very thin at running back with Kenny James out. Rankin hasn't been all that effective because of Oregon's play up front. And now Bunnell to be here again. He hits Anthony Russo, and he'll drag a defender or two inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, and a first down, gain of 12 yards for the Huskies.
Good gain, you know, positive gain on first down. It's amazing if you don't go, 3 and out, and you can get positive yards on this first down. They get good protection. Bunnell gets the ball out quick. Russo, I believe that's his 2nd or 3rd catch. 3rd catch on the day. They just haven't gotten him enough balls. Washington came in today, too, with 9 pass plays of 40 yards or longer, and they just have been stifled today.
They've taken a couple of shots deep, but just haven't been able to connect. Play action for Bunnell. Pressure and sacked. Rashawn Harris, number 91, out of Pittsburgh, California, a 10-yard loss.
Great pressure that time by the interior. Harris getting around and making his move. He just worked the outside. Again, they worked on that left side, got past Ben Osai.
Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by Napa, and all day long it's been 2nd down, 3rd down, and eternity for the Huskies. This one's 2nd and 20. Bunnell steps up, looks for a man, misfires badly. He and Shackelford not on the same page. Shackelford broke in the pass at the sideline. 3rd and 20.
And just flat out missed him and had him open. Well, if you're on Washington, you have to get a conversion here. You could say you take 2 downs to get 20. You don't have to get it all in one fair shot here.
Pressure. Bunnell is buried at the 34. Oh, baby, a jailbreak from the right side of that Oregon defense. Jeremy Gibbs, one of 3 that got there first. Blair Phillips was in on the tackle, and Matthew Harper as well.
Well, Blair Phillips is on one end. He comes untouched. Matthew Harper comes off the other end untouched. Phillips is there to make the hit and the tackle. Pretty good acquisition there. No, number 33, huh?
Wow. That punch shanked down the right sideline. And everything going Oregon's way in the second half. 34-14. The Huskies in deep trouble again against their arch rivals in Eugene, Oregon. Well, Tommy, that last drive by Washington pretty much sums up their afternoon. They start getting a little bit of momentum, move the ball a little bit, get sacked once for 10 yards, sacked for 13 yards, then a 23-yard punt to give the ball back to Oregon, down 20 with 5.5 to play in the game.
Yeah, the net of all that, not good.
Not good. That's not good. So back to work go the Ducks.
Credit that Oregon defense again. Boy, they've been tough on 3rd down stops.
Leaf keeps it and pays the price as he moves out to the 42-yard line. C.J. Wallace with the hit. Let's join Mark Fine in our Atlanta studios.
All right, Chip, wanted to take a little sneak peek. Austin, Texas, game 2 of our doubleheader, Texas and Oklahoma State. Coaches having a chat. You know, we'll have enhanced coverage, limited commercials, all presented by Phillips. Even going to give us a chance to chat with Brian Brohm, the quarterback from Louisville. So, guys, should be a great game. Back to you.
Okay, Mark, thanks. Speaking of great games, that Louisville, West Virginia game on Thursday night was simply unbelievable. The way the Louisville club picked up the win, all the turnovers late in that ball game. And Louisville for real. Good looking club.
Louisville's pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, the Big East is looking pretty darn good. Good matchup this coming week, too. Louisville at Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers rolling merrily along.
Yeah.
Third down, call it a long 4 for Oregon. Comfortably in front. Leaf fakes the inside, now fires it deep. And a whole lot of contact at the 23-yard line and a flag on the play. It falls at the 35-yard line.
A lot of contact. Trying to get the ball down the field to Jordan Kent. He's getting pushed out of bounds.
Anything less would have been a felony.
Pass interference on the defense.
Roy Lewis.
Number 28. 15-yard penalty, previous spot. Automatic first down.
So another first down for Oregon.
And Roy Lewis has gotten a lot of action coming his way today. He's done a good job in coverage most of the time. That time guilty of a pass interference.
Well, a couple of things in today's game that I think Oregon really wanted to see happen. One, control the running game, which they've done. They have not been as crisp as they would like. 3 turnovers in the game. That's certainly not up to snuff. But maybe the most important thing they didn't do, which is positive, is look past Washington today in anticipation of their matchup next week down at USC. That's going to be a huge game. Again, Oregon still has a chance to finish second, but they've got to win out. They've got to help themselves by beating USC and then beating Oregon State on the road, the final 2 road games in their Pac-10 slate. As our 1st and 10 line brought to you by Napa. It's 2nd and short 4.
Oh, and I think the Oregon SC game next week's a good matchup. SC's defense is good. They're fast. Pete Carroll will have a good scheme for him, but again, it's you know, defensing option and outside pitches like this. This time they have a tight end come around. Remember I said yesterday, the good news when you're scoring a lot and you have a lot of offense is you put a lot of offense on tape for your next opponent. They got a lot to look at.
Well, sure. I mean, that's Ryan Keeling gets a carry. So, yeah, Pete Carroll and his staff are going to have to work a little overtime dissecting this spread offense as the Ducks head to the Coliseum next weekend. Meanwhile, for Washington, Ty Willingham said, look, our goal at the start of the year, we want to get to a bowl. Well, if they don't win in miracle fashion today, they fall to 4-6, 2-5 in the conference, and they have Stanford at home and Washington State on the road to finish up the season. And again, Leaf just keeping the ball, keeping the clock moving, keeping the chains moving. Another Oregon first down. And let's take a look, Tommy, at our Papa John's deep pass of the game. Sonny Shackelford deep in the end zone caught a game-tying touchdown pass.
Put Washington on the board early in the game, made it 7-7. Sonny Shackelford running a deep corner for the deep pass of the game.
A deep dish play, you might say. Ducks 298 rushing yards today. Looking for more of that. And they'll get more of that. Right up the gut. As Andre Crenshaw gets a couple of carries, a 7-yard pickup for him. And indeed, it's 305 rushing yards for Oregon today.
Wow. Wow. Andre Crenshaw, the true freshman out of Antelope Valley High in Lancaster, California. Nice running right there. He gets stung at the end by Chris Hemphill. Big free safety. Got a little leverage on him. That'll remind you to keep your shoulder pads low.
Check the fillings. 2nd and 3 from the 17. Leaf again to Crenshaw. He's popped at the 16.
Boy, what are the total number of plays that Oregon has run? Marty, do we know that?
Taj Bomar with the stop. Well, they've had 29, 30 first downs in the game.
Yeah, I mean, they have just 82 plays. Wow. That's a bunch. And over 300 yards rushing.
3rd down and 1, under a minute to play in Eugene. 1st down for Leaf. And a little bit more. That'll stop the clock momentarily. 1st down inside the 15-yard line for the Ducks. And tonight's Vegas.com player of the game is...
Snap, got it, gonna hand it off. And Stewart inside of the 5-3-2-1 touchdown, Jonathan Stewart. And he will get the pitch going right. Goes to the 5-4-3-2, not deny. That's my end zone, and I'm wanting in it. And he is in it, and it's touchdown, Oregon. Nice cut.
You run the ball, you control the clock, you wear out the defense, you win at home. Pretty simple formula, and it's been that way all year for the Ducks here at Autzen Stadium.
Boy, and Washington would have loved to have been able to somehow been able to get on track and run the ball themselves, because the thing you want to be able to do, keep the ball out of this offense's hands.
They couldn't do it, and it wasn't through the air, it was on the ground. Jonathan Stewart, Dennis Dixon, and the Oregon Ducks in a big rivalry game with the Washington Huskies just wore them down, wore out the turf, and they run